EmceeTV.
What's good? It's your boy, that motherfucker Steve. Today on EmceeTV, I got my homie, my little brother, Kapp.
What's up? What's up?
We sitting down. We just talking a little shit, catching up, and he just got into town from Wyoming.
Right.
And so we've been catching up. It's been a minute since I've seen him, and yeah. So man, how was the drive?
It was long.
Yeah.
It was really long. I drove most of it. Yeah, so just decided to come and kick it, ring in the new year, obviously with my brother. So figured I've been on a couple podcasts at this point in my life, mostly related to things other than hip hop. But this is the first podcast I've been on where the lights are so bright and I'm in like a full studio. So it's definitely an experience for sure. So I told him he had to get me on here.
Well, shit, I'm happy to have you on here, man.
Yeah. I watched the last episode and I was blown away. So yeah, I want to be a part of it before it blows up.
I appreciate you carving out a little time while you're in town to sit down and chop it up with me. Not to mention you were part of EmceeTV. You know, you went to New York with me.
Yep.
And we did all that shit. I mean, you are on the Cypher. You're on the Maze. Nope. You're on the Cypher. No. You're on the Best. And you're on
another one with Ren.
The joint with Ren and the Get Down. Ren, JLB Hood, and that was, man, we just blew through all that real quick. We could have done a lot better job at plugging that in, talking about it. Hey, check it out on Spotify, iTunes, and Apple Music under EmceeTV.
Matter of fact, if you don't mind, I'd like to back up and talk about some of that stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say we went through it real quick.
Yeah, the a couple of them tracks. So for those of you that don't know, like I used to make rap music a long time ago when I was much younger, and I still write music. I don't record it as often because as you get older, there's other passions you find in your life and stuff, and so
different priorities.
Yeah, different priorities, and so I haven't been making music that much lately. But when you started recording the last album, that Back to Bars Volume 1, he had a couple empty spots to fill. He had a couple artists picked out, I think, probably. But I think probably just showing me a little love, asked me if I wanted to get on them. And, you know, I think as a younger person, when I got into making music, a lot of it, things you do when you're kids, is always to, like, impress your older brother, you know what I mean? And, like, my older brother, I don't know if I've ever even told you this, but...
we got a premiere.
My older brother was into hip-hop back then too, and you know, me as a young person was trying to make music in a lot of ways to impress my older brother and his friends. And so when he asked if I was interested in being on the record, of course I had to say yes, even though I hadn't made music in a long time and I was pretty nervous about it, to be honest. And I'm not I'm not like in any way worried about my writing ability. Like I don't want to say I'm the best in the world or anything like that, but like I can write some pretty complex stuff, and I think I'm pretty decent at putting words together. But
you cold with a rhyme scheme.
I appreciate that, yeah. But it's been a long time since I actually laid anything down on a track, so I know I was pretty slow on some of them songs.
Nah, man, you know, there were other people that took longer.
Yeah, but we did it, and I had a lot of fun doing it. And, you know, some of those records turned out really, really well, I thought.
Next level.
Yeah, and getting JL in here, the first time I came to the Lightroom, which is where we're at now, was, when was that? July? No. What month
that was July this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it July?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think it was.
July or August.
Maybe it was August. But, yeah, anyway, I came out here some point this summer, and you had JL up here for the show.
Yep.
And which was fucking amazing. Like, the show was really good. And JL came up here. He really did his thing, performed excellently. That was my first time seeing JL in concert, and I was very impressed. And anyway, we came back here to the Lightroom late at night, and
That was when he did his verse.
Yeah, that's when he did his verse here in the studio, and turned out really well. I was tired as fuck.
You and D Wood had just got into town.
Yes.
And you guys both hit the studio that night. You got into town the day before.
Yeah, the day before the show.
And you guys hit the studio and recorded right away.
Yeah, that was, in fact, him and I were practicing our show on the way here in the car, and I think I had my verse memorized, and Dylan had his part he was working on memorizing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was tough too, because I wasn't even sure if he was gonna have his verse written. So I actually wrote, because in that song, him and I split a verse. He did 8 and I did 8, I think.
Yep.
And then I wasn't sure if he was gonna have 8, so I actually wrote 16. And when he started writing his 8, I said, here's where my second 8 start with this rhyme scheme, so use that if you want to use that, or don't. And I think he did, and I think we kind of flowed the same rhyme scheme most of the way through the verse.
Shit was dope as hell.
It was cool. Yeah, it was definitely a fun track to be on, and like the beat was hard for me to catch at first. Once I wrote the bars, it was a lot easier for me, but hearing JL come and hit the beat and added a different flow to it, and Ren had a completely different flow to it. Just like working with other artists to me is crazy, because I hear a beat and write rhymes in what, and then another artist comes through and has a completely different flow to it, and I love that that's like one of the things I love about hip hop, just seeing the different ways to attack a beat.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because so many people will come at it a different way and maybe end on a clap or end on a different instrument or whatever.
Yeah. Some people put their rhymes like halfway through, like on the snare, where I usually end a rhyme. It depends on the beat or the flow or whatever, but I usually end a rhyme there, or start the multi there. Some people are halfway through the bar, but the multi carries all the way through the next bar.
Right.
And like some of that shit gets tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you on some Eminem shit, the motherfucker trying to do double and triples throughout the whole rhyme, and it just keeps restarting.
And some people do that a lot. And like, I think I'm trying to remember JL's verse exactly in my head, but I think he does a little bit of that.
Yeah.
That continuous kind of rhyme scheme throughout.
Some Joyner Lucas.
Yeah, it was really dope. And then Ren came through in a big way on that.
Yeah.
As well, which I've always been a fan of Ren's ever since. You introduced me to Ren as well, and been a fan of his music, which we actually went out when we were in New York.
Got to go kick it with him.
Yeah, which there's a couple stories of that New York trip.
Yeah, New York was wild.
Yeah.
Stomping around in Newark at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning or whenever the fuck that was.
Sketchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, very sketchy.
Trying to go find Pace One's house.
Yeah.
Newark is a rough little city. Yeah. Especially for some motherfuckers that have no idea where they're at or what they're doing.
Yeah. So essentially we were in New York, which was my first time in New York.
All three of us.
Yeah, all three of us. And man, that was a blast, first of all.
Yeah, that was a cool trip.
If I start at the beginning and back up from the New Jersey story, Mickey Factz was out there. Showed hella love.
Mickey was like the ambassador.
He was.
Yeah.
Like when I think of New York, I think of Mickey Factz.
Yep.
A lot of people think maybe Jay-Z or you know, no slouch to Jay-Z or nothing. Like you're fucking the man, Jay. But I'm just saying, like when I think New York, I think Mickey Factz.
Yeah, Mickey. Well, not to mention, I mean, his bar game is next level.
Absolutely.
He's out there working with everybody.
Yeah.
His battle rap's on point.
Which, sidebar here, did you see Mickey's contest he's been doing recently?
I did not.
Oh, he did like a challenge.
Okay.
He paid the winner, I think, $2,000 and a verse.
No shit.
Yeah, and second place, I think, got $250. Second, third, fourth place, something like that. Maybe we should look it up.
Yeah.
I think, are you logged in on Instagram on here?
You can log into it on Facebook, but yeah, it should offer it right away.
Let's see.
But yeah, Mickey was so humble when we went out there. I mean, for somebody of his status to just kind of take us under his wing and take us through New York and show us the Jam Master Jay mural and go through the subway and film and kick it.
Because he was there to work, right?
Right.
Like he was there to film his part for the cypher.
Exactly.
Which he did in multiple locations, which the video turned out crazy.
Yeah.
And he filmed all those locations, and on top of that was kind of like showed us around. Like he gave us the tour. Like he was like, check this out, told us all these little facts along the way, and like he didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
So really shouts to Mickey for that. And I've been a fan of Mickey's for a very long time. So
well, you were the one that advocated for him to get on the track, and I was like, yo, this dude's dope.
Mickey's fire.
Yeah.
Mickey's fire because he if you guys aren't in tune with Mickey Factz, check him out. But he was a XXL freshman way back. Many accolades to his name. This dude kills it in the battle scene, which I'm pretty familiar with. I don't want to say like my opinion holds any weight or anything, but I'm in tune with all the leagues. I watch a lot of battle rap. And Mickey's not a frequent battler, but when he shows out, man, he really shows out. And
not to mention all the ciphers he's been in.
Yeah, all the ciphers.
Just lyrically flexing.
Mickey is one of those guys that really he does hip hop because he loves hip hop.
Passionate.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't doubt that the man wants to make a living with it, and I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
But that's not why he does it. You can tell. Like when he rhymes and makes music, he is like doing it because he loves it. Like there was the whole thing a while back, and I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers or nothing, but the thing with him and Royce and Lupe.
Oh yeah.
Did you remember that?
Yeah, I remember bits and pieces. I don't really remember what set it off.
Yeah, so I think like all the stuff that I watched was like, all right, him and Royce and Lupe had a show together. I don't believe that they do anymore. I don't think that there's any bad blood there that I'm aware of. At least it's not been made public. But for a while there was some turmoil for sure. But I believe the show is no more, the podcast. But anyway, they were having this conversation about rappers and like who was the best and all this, and a couple of other rappers. I'm trying to think of who they are right now. Somebody's gonna call my shit if I don't say the right names, but it's like Payne, RJ and Payne maybe.
Okay.
Basically called him out and said, nah, we're the best, basically, or whatever. And it turned into this whole thing, and then
like an ego match.
Yeah, and then Royce wanted to do a lot of talking, but not a lot of rapping, and which everybody knows Royce is dope.
Yeah.
That's not a question.
Yeah, his bar is on point.
On point. He's certified legend.
Yeah.
For real. And but when it came down to it, he was like on some like, I just want to spread positivity. I don't want to do diss records with you guys.
Word.
So he put out a track that he was kind of like lyrically flexing on.
Royce did.
Yeah, some kind of like multi stuff. It wasn't like directed at anybody, even though it was kind of portrayed as supposed to be like a diss record.
A skills flex.
Yeah. I think he doubled back and clarified that later, but I think when he put it out, it was portrayed, at least in the community, how I ran across it, as somewhat like a diss towards Lupe and a couple other people. Well, he mentioned, so him and Lupe had their thing going on too, but then back to Mickey. He had mentioned Mickey on the track as well, and I think talked about maybe talked about his son. I don't wanna say that that's exactly what happened. You can listen to the track. Anybody can go and listen to the track. And then Mickey came back with his track.
Rain, right?
Wraith. Oh,
yeah.
And that was fire. That's on my playlist in regular rotation.
Yeah, some people have said that was one of the hardest diss tracks in the game.
I think because there are so many classic diss tracks.
Right, yeah.
Like you got Tupac Hit 'Em
Up. Yep.
Crazy,
now,
right?
Everybody goes right for that one.
Yeah, because that one's just so vicious and just,
violent.
Yeah.
He was like, I'll kill all of you motherfuckers.
Yeah. That's exactly how he started, huh?
Yeah.
I'll kill all you motherfuckers.
Die slow.
My fofo make sure all your kids don't grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Hit 'Em Up, Nas and Jay went through their thing. A lot of crazy songs. Ether is crazy.
Eminem and Benzino.
Eminem and everybody.
Right?
Yeah, Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly. Like, when Eminem, I think...
Eminem and Ja.
Like, yeah, and so 50 and a lot of people, like 50 and Ja. And
yep.
50, and anybody that said anything ever about 50.
50 didn't play around with that
he
either.
Don't play, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of classic diss tracks that come to mind, but when I listen to diss tracks bar for bar, and like I said, I pay attention to battle rap a lot, so I'm here for the bars. You know what I mean?
Amen.
Yeah, and when I listen to them bar for bar, some of the top ones that I've got in my list, Kill Shot is crazy.
For sure.
And Wraith, crazy.
Yeah.
There are so many double, triple, like, you can't listen to a line of that song and not find a bar.
Yeah.
Like,
you damn near got to decode it because there's so many layered bars in there. And,
there are some bars that mean 6 different things. Like, he says something about marvel at your multiverse till I, like it's Marvel in the multiverse, right?
Yeah.
But he's like marveling at your multiverse because he just had Royce put out his verse. It was just full of multis, but it wasn't really saying much or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, marvel at your multiverse till you die, mentioning that. Or like, whew. Yeah, he's crazy. Yeah, so that's kind of what went on between them, and Mickey's been able to, like, he does it because he loves it. Like, I don't think he had any like ill feelings towards Royce really, except for that Royce was trying to sun him. Royce was like, "Oh yeah, but you ain't did nothing important," and he kept saying in his thing, "Are you checking boxes though? But are you checking boxes?"
Right.
Yeah, and which the rest, I don't want to say everybody in the hip hop community because not everybody feels this way. You go on YouTube, the comments are back and forth.
Sure.
But everybody was like, "What is this dude talking about?"
Yeah.
Checking like Mickey can rap.
Yeah.
He will check those boxes. And I understand what Royce was saying in a way. He's talking about the importance of something. You know, like, does what you do check boxes? Like, he's trying to say, like, is it this monumental? And you don't know until after the fact.
Right.
You don't know. And I don't know. I think I'm going to go out. I'm ahead and say it. But the fact that Royce didn't respond was some hoe shit to me. But I'm not involved in it, and I don't know where his feelings were, and maybe he was trying to not continue the negativity, which I can respect too.
Sure.
But you know,
yeah, because some MCs look at it as like sparring, like two martial artists.
That's how I feel.
Boxing it out in the gym, or two jiu-jitsu guys rolling in the gym, or whatever, and you just sharpening your skills.
Right. You can punch each other all day. At the end of the day, it's love.
Right.
That's how I feel about it, and I've said already a couple times that I'm a big fan of rap battling. Like,
yeah.
That's what I spend lots of my time doing. And a lot of the artists that I listen to in regular rotation are battle rappers, which is funny because there's that stigma that, like, battle rappers can't make music, like they can't do both.
Right.
I think that's totally false because now there are a lot that are not that good, but there are some battle rappers that make phenomenal music.
Amen.
And there are industry rappers that are phenomenal battle rappers. King Los, Mickey Factz. I would say Mickey Factz is more of an industry rapper than a battle rapper, but he can do both effortlessly. He can move back and forth.
Yep. Black P.
Black P's been
very...
Ren Thomas can do both.
Yep.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, so that list goes on and on as far as people that can cross that line and go back and forth and navigate in both spaces.
Absolutely. So, I could talk all day about battle rap. I don't want to get too deep into it because then I look like a nerd fan, which I am. But back to the New York trip. Yeah, Mickey. So when we were in New York, obviously, I was saying Mickey was giving us this tour, walking us around New York. Somebody obviously I'm a huge fan of, and he didn't have to do that. So that's why when I think of New York, I think of Mickey Factz.
For sure.
So then, after our wonderful experience with Mickey Factz, and we took a train. What was that train called? The one that goes to New Jersey? Not the Bullet. The
wrong one we got on, or the right one?
The right one.
Because we got on the wrong one, and they were like, "Where's your tickets?"
There's one. The Path. What was that shit called?
That sounds right. Yeah.
The Path.
The Path.
Something like this. Anyway, there's this train that goes from New York to New Jersey, basically, and we got off on Penn Station.
Yep.
And it's us two. And a buddy.
The other homie, yeah.
Yep. And so we were there, and Steve, love you to death, is dressed with
shit. Here we go. Back to the gear.
Head to toe in red. Just because red's a cool color, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was something I wasn't really paying attention to.
Right.
I happened to look like I was active in a gang.
It did look that way. But anyway, so...
Might have had some red Snickers on, a red Hobson hat, and a red T-shirt maybe.
Yeah, normal jeans.
Yeah, I didn't have any red jeans on.
But it was red everywhere else. Anyway, so we get on this train, we go to New Jersey, we get off at Penn Station.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was kind of the hub we kept meeting up in, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So we get off at Penn Station. We go outside because our Google Maps is telling us, go this way, go that way, go this way, go that way.
Yep.
So we get off Penn Station, and we go outside. Some wonderfully helpful lady comes up to us, taps us on the shoulder, she says, hey, are you guys lost? Yeah, kind of. Why? What's up? She said, this is not the area you guys want to be. Right now it's getting dark and, whatever. So we were like, oh, okay. At this point, we had come too far, and we had business to do. We had to meet up with Pace One, record the video.
Pace One from the Outsiders.
Yep, for his verse.
Yep.
That is not yet been released.
Yep.
Yep. So, anyway, so we hop an Uber, right? No, we started walking first.
We started walking by the stadium. I don't know.
Furniture store. I know we were by a furniture store.
We were right by Dr. J's, the shoe company. That was the super lit up
storefront that was right
yeah,
there.
Yeah. And it was. I mean, it was
dark. It was late. It was like, what time was it? 10 o'clock.
I was thinking it was later than that. But
Maybe it was.
Yeah.
It was later than that when we left for sure.
Yeah.
It was like 10 o'clock ish. We had, I don't know, feel free to jump in. We had people.
Oh, we had all the camera gear and shit.
Yeah.
We was mobbing.
Bags full of expensive camera gear.
Yeah.
3 of us.
Just stomping down the street.
Yeah.
In the middle of Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah,
and
rough neighborhood too.
I think there was a little discussion where it was like, I don't think we're in the right neighborhood. What are we gonna do? I was on the phone trying to find us an Uber.
Yep.
The first 2 canceled.
They did.
And then I think somehow maybe I got a little bit ahead of you guys, and a dude came up to me and was like he was passing me, and he was like, got that diesel.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, all right, that was a little strange, but all right, whatever. And then we got a little further, and another dude walked past us and was like, got that diesel.
Yeah.
And I was like, he got that diesel.
So we know. Yeah.
Yeah. This is not where
is
not where we're supposed to be.
Yeah, not with the camera bags and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the camera bags.
We're on the block.
Yeah.
Yeah, we out here looking like some fish out of water.
Right. It was pretty clear that we were.
We didn't belong.
Yeah,
we were in the trap.
Yeah, and we probably didn't belong. It was clear to everybody else.
Yeah.
So we decided to hop this Uber and get us the next couple blocks to wherever we needed to go, where Pace One lived. And
did we actually? Yeah, we did catch one.
Yeah, we caught one.
Yeah.
So we get there.
This has been a year. Hold up, just a quick reference. This has been 3 years ago now.
Has it?
It's 2019, wasn't it?
It was before COVID, so yeah.
Yeah, it was 2019.
Yeah.
October 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
And so that's why it's a little hazy. We both trying to kind of piece this together.
Right. Yeah.
And the story has popped up a couple times, but this is a different perspective on it.
Right. And it was late too, so so we get to Pace One's house. I think there's a gate outside. We call him. A couple times he didn't answer. Eventually he answers, comes down, lets us in. We talk about recording the video.
We were talking about doing it on the
outside.
Yeah.
The idea was to do it outside on the street, because all the rest of the verses were filmed outside.
Yeah.
And the original storyboard for the Cypher track had to do with kind of with the trip itself.
Like
actually.
a timeline almost.
Yeah, like how we went to New York, met up with Mickey, then what was my verse after that?
It was Ren, then Mickey.
Yeah, sorry, Ren and Mickey.
Then you.
So anyway, the original idea was flying in, meeting up with Ren, then going to meet up with Mickey all the way through New York, coming back to Jersey, and it was supposed to follow that same timeline.
Yeah.
Pace One's verse did not make that track, right, but it's on a different track.
Yep.
In the future, sometime.
Yeah. It's been slated for a different track.
So exactly, yeah, that was what I was trying to say. So anyway, it was supposed to be the storyboard. So as we get there and we're like, yeah, we're gonna go outside, get a couple shots.
We gotta find a spot to film. Let's piece this together.
He said, "Fuck that."
Yeah, he was like, "Nah, man, we don't go out on the block out here."
He said, "It's dark. We ain't going outside."
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Brick City.
Yeah, we were like, "Oh, well, we need to.
We gotta film somewhere.
We gotta get some footage."
Right.
And he said, "You ain't stepping outside with them cameras."
Yeah.
And keeping them.
Yeah. He was like, "Yeah, it's rough out here."
So we was like, "Okay."
So he invited us in the crib.
Yep. So we went inside. We thought maybe film in the hallway, get a couple shots on the stairs, maybe so. He said, "Nah."
Yeah.
My neighbors ain't having that shit. There's no fucking way.
He was like, "Yeah, we film in the crib.
Yeah.
Knock this out."
So we filmed in the house. I don't want to give too many details out about the man's house where he lives and all that stuff, but
we knocked it out.
We knocked it out.
Yeah.
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 He recorded it in the back room, basically the footage for the verse. We got that, and we had to bounce. So after that, it was pretty late. I mean, it must have been midnight, 1 a.m.
Yeah.
By the time we left, and I wasn't a part of the video filming at that point. I mean, you guys were just in the back room filming. I was in the living room kicking it with his homie, whatever.
Oh yeah, he was watching a football game.
Yeah, we were watching a football game.
Yeah.
So by the time we go to leave, I'm tired of shit. It's midnight, even later now. We got camera gear. We try to call the Uber. They keep canceling on us. Like, they're not picking us up in this neighborhood. And somehow somebody picks us up.
We finally got an Uber to pick us up.
Yeah, we did get an Uber.
Or Lyft or whatever it was.
Right, yeah, we got one of the two.
Yeah.
He happened to speak Spanish. You happened to speak Spanish. That helped a lot.
It did.
Yep. And so he gets us out of there. We get back on the station, go back to New York, right?
Yep.
That night.
Yeah. And then we took
the
the bus back to Queens, where we stayed.
Yep, took the bus back to Queens where we were at. It's funny because we have well, do we want to talk about the upcoming trip or no?
Yeah, we can definitely talk about it.
Okay, because we have a trip coming up because you've got Back to Bars Volume 2 coming out.
Yep.
So
we ain't letting all the secrets out. We gotta give them a little taste, but
right.
you know.
I'm not gonna tell you guys who's on the album yet, but we got some work in Detroit. Got some work in New York.
Yep.
And so we'll be making that trip again, slightly modified this time, of course. And so I'm glad that this time around, I guess I can speak about this one, DNA, because that track's been released.
Right.
So DNA's from Queens, so we'll be out in New York again. There's a couple other artists that we'll be seeing out there on the East Coast as well, but DNA being one of them. Again, you know I fuck with the battle scene heavy, so DNA was... did I suggest DNA or no?
You did.
Maybe
you suggested him as well.
Okay, so anyway, there's a couple other battle rappers going to be on Back to Bars Volume 2 as well, some industry rappers. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the goal is obviously it's bars.
Yeah, I mean that's been the mission statement from the jump, to make sure that we bringing it back to the bars, putting the focus on the bars, and going back to the grassroots of hip hop, right, where it all started with flexing with the lyricism and really putting in work.
And when you say back to, it's like hip hop went weird for a while.
And I guess, I mean, it depends on, there's different lanes of hip hop, right?
Right.
And so, you know, I think from an industry standpoint, there was a focus on these subgenres that popped up and maybe took the stage, and other things drifted behind while other things were more in focus.
Like for popularity wise.
Right,
like,
right. And heads at labels that had influence maybe put the focus on things like mumble rap and stuff like that.
For a while, like even it started with like crunk music and that type of which I'm not shitting on any type of music, mumble rap included, which maybe mumble rap is derogatory, but I'm just trying to categorize something. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not shitting on that type of music. It's not for me.
Not my flavor.
So if you like that shit, that's cool. And there's even people that I would classify as mumble rappers that have come on tracks with other people like J. Cole or Joyner and spit some bars.
Yeah.
It just depends on the setting they're in, I think, and whatever. And again, greatness meets greatness, right? Like, people tend to rise to the occasion. So
that's exactly what I was just thinking.
So you put somebody on a track with somebody that's this much better than them, but this person is still very talented. Just because they make whatever type of music, it's not for you. They try to like match that.
They elevate that skill
whatever,
level,
and they elevate up to that point, right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, I think, you know, I've noticed at least kind of a resurgence, so to speak, in hip hop as of the last several years. Like, it started, I think, kind of back when like Cole came out and Kendrick came out. That really, to me, brought the focus back in the mainstream to like lyrical type rap music.
Yep.
And then you had guys like Joyner, which is, I think Joyner is kind of a weird mix of like he's lyrical, but he's also got like kind of like trap flavor.
Yeah.
And like kind of,
he's got a sprinkling of that in there.
And he's got like some fast rap type.
Yeah.
So Joyner's really interesting to me as a musician because he can go all over the place. He's got introspective tracks.
Super versatile.
Yeah, he really is. So and then J. Cole is one of my favorites. He's like really well-rounded as an MC. Like he's got bars, he's got cadence, he can kind of sing, he can kind of do whatever, you know. And so but bringing that focus back to bars, which makes sense for the album, and it makes perfect sense. And I think a lot of me personally like view your album and what you're putting together as kind of a not only bringing the focus back to bars, but I feel like it's kind of giving like rappers that have established a name for themselves but may not be mainstream focused another platform to promote and get that music out. And especially, you know, me, I always push for the battle rappers. I'm like call this dude up or message this dude or see what this dude's doing.
But you've been on point with it. You've been in touch. You know, like a lot of them dudes really came with the bars, and we made some great friends and connections out of it.
Absolutely.
And I think
I wasn't there for the last part of the cypher when you filmed with A-Ward. I was low key jealous because I'm a fan.
Yeah.
And that verse came out dope. And
he was another dude that was humble as could be. I mean, just really easy to talk to. He was in the process of getting married at that point in time.
Right.
And traveling, and he came up to Des Moines. The first time I met him, he came up to Des Moines to battle here in Des Moines.
Oh, he battled Hungry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hungry from the
Get You Some Battle League.
That's right.
Yep. Which down at Vaudeville Muse.
Yeah, and A-Ward is so humble. He will come battle on them small battle leagues and give 110%.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of these guys don't do that.
Yep. It was him and
Chef Trez?
Chef Trez, yep.
That's right.
Yep, they were both there that day. And both of them went in. It was super cool.
Yeah.
Both them dudes were really cool to me. We got to chop it up a little bit.
And I'm trying to think, at that time, when A-Ward did that, I mean, he obviously wasn't as big as he is now.
That was
a couple years ago.
That was prior to COVID too.
Yeah.
So that was I think we'd already went. That might have been November of 2019. I mean, because I think we'd already went to New York.
Had we? Not by the time he was battling in Des Moines, I don't think.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe. Yeah, no, because otherwise I probably would have offered to show him the direction we were going so he could formulate a little bit of a plan and an idea.
Right. But it was, at that point, he was still, like, popular battle rapper, but he was making a name for himself. Most of you know he hasn't been on URL yet. It was a fucking whole thing this last week.
Oh, yeah, that did erupt.
Yeah, it was a whole thing this last week.
Especially on Twitter. It erupted in a major way.
Yeah, and maybe we'll come back to that. But he definitely, like, at that time, you know, a lot of people didn't know who he was because he hadn't been on URL, which maybe...
But he was still a rising star.
But he's still a rising star on
KOTD.
King of the Dot, and at that point, I don't think he had battled on RBE yet, but he had battled on Kansas City Connects League. That's where he first started. And he did a couple.
That's him and the Horsemen.
That was just him. So the Connects League is in Kansas City, and then the other Horsemen are from different places. You got Saga,
you're
you got
right.
Losos from Tampa, Florida, I think.
Yeah.
And then you got the Saga, you got Oops. And they're kind of they are Christian battle rappers. But they're kind of, like, Oops, I don't think is Christian, but he's like St. Louis Superman or whatever. Not St. Louis Superman, but maybe it is St. Louis Superman. I think that's where he's from. And he's a sitting congressman or something. Not House of Representatives or something for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Holds a political office.
Yeah, holds political office and is really, true to himself and is about what he's about. And you know, he believes in making a change and does that. And reflects that in his rap verses and everything. But so I wouldn't say their group is a Christian rap group, even though there are several Christians in the group. Maybe Oops is. I'm sure Oops is a Christian, but it's not the same type of like preaching rap as some of the other guys doing. And I guess I wouldn't say that they do that primarily. I'm not like pigeonholing them in the...
No, but they're a little more conservative with their bars in terms of like they're reluctant to curse.
Right, and they do sometimes.
Right.
I don't want to say that they do curse, because I think A-Ward's made that distinction before. He's like, I will cuss, but I don't like curse you. Like it's not like fuck you. It's like I'll say what the fuck.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and I think he believes there's a difference there, and there probably is. I'm not super religious myself, so I can't say. But
I grew up in a very religious household.
We grew up in the same motherfucking house.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But yeah, you had come down here and filmed with A-Ward, which was dope, and he laid down a dope verse on that.
And that was prior to him being King of the Dot Battle Rapper of the Year for 2019.
Yes.
Yeah, he had not been crowned that.
And since then, he's been top 10 champion of the year, which I guess brings us back to the Twitter thing, because that's what the whole argument was about, champion of the year.
Right.
Which, has traditionally, so up to this point, been held as all battle leagues are eligible for this award.
Title.
Hosted by champion J Black. There's been some speculation that as of late it's been favored more towards URL because Caffeine and URL have their deal, and Champion does all the like hosting talk show type stuff for URL and the Caffeine events.
Sure.
And so a lot of people are like, oh, Caffeine bought Champion. And they didn't buy Champion, but
might be some paid sponsorship.
It might be some paid sponsorship. So it's kind of like you can't have battlers from.
I cleared a truck.
That's okay. Yeah, can't have battlers from other leagues winning this. It doesn't look good, right? That's been the speculation so far. Now I don't think that Jay Black is a dishonest person or anything like that, but everybody has their incentives wherever they lie.
It's been speculated that his views may have been tainted.
Right. And I don't want to put that on Jay Black. Like, I'm not saying that that's.
It's not a proven fact.
Right.
We ain't accusing anybody of anything.
Right. And I'm not a battle rap analyst. All right. I know I've been doing a lot of talking about battle rap here today. I'm not a battle rap analyst. My opinion don't mean fucking shit at all. But.
Couple dudes that enjoy some battle rap.
Yeah, but it's relevant to the Back to the Bars record, sort of. We're talking about A-Ward being on the Cypher, and then it kind of evolves into the talk surrounding A-Ward.
For sure.
This last weekend on Twitter and Twitter Spaces, people blowing him the fuck up, talking about him not, shouldn't be eligible because he battles on all these small leagues, and he'd never battled on URL, which is the only... What do they say? The only stage that matters, which is crazy to me because URL is cool.
That sounds like some Rush shit to me.
Yeah, and URL's cool, but like, and I there's a lot of URL battle rappers I like. I think Twerk's dope.
Tay-Rock
is dope. Mike P is dope. Av dope. JC is cool, and maybe he's not a URL rapper. And there's a couple people that battle over there. Like obviously, Verb is dope.
But it's been speculated, or maybe even confirmed, that if you battle on URL, they include contracts with that.
They do.
That
and maybe not in every case.
Exclusive to them, especially for some of the high-profile rappers.
Yeah, and maybe not in every case. Like there are rappers that are able to battle on URL and do their own thing because they have that much of an impact and made smart business decisions
early on.
The way. So like Geechee Gotti can battle on URL. And he can go battle on Riot League, and he can go, which is his own league, or something he co-owns. He can go battle on RBE if he wanted to. He can battle anywhere he wants, and there are other. But the point is, URL and other battle leagues. This is why I hate when it says it's the only stage that matters. It's a different crowd, and that's part of what people's argument is well, you're going to die over here. It's a different crowd, and yeah. It's different, but what's different about it is it's not just a different crowd. It's a different. I think it's a different style of rapping, altogether. Like, I don't want to say that these guys are less creative or whatever, but it's a lot of gun bars.
Well, and you and I talked about that earlier.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of dudes that use the gun bars on URL.
Yeah, and I'm fine with it.
For sure.
There are some dope gun bars. Like, Rum Nitty is one of the battle rappers. He's also in the running for champion of the year, like top 2 or 3. And he is very, very creative with gun bars. Like, he has some bars. Like, and he can spin a gun bar and make it into something super lyrical. And I think Twerk is entertaining as fuck, but
the Jersey Twerk?
Yeah, he's entertaining as fuck, man. But he's just a great entertainer. He's like loud and like in your face, and he'll do the jumping around and the you know, and it's cool.
Yeah.
But like, is it bars though? Like, yeah.
It's a different style.
It's creative.
It's a different style.
And it's bars, but it's not the same type of lyrical bars that like an Iron Solomon's gonna have, or a Loaded Lux might have, or you know, or an A-Ward might have. And so, there's gonna be people mad that I put Loaded Lux and A-Ward in the same sentence. Well, deal with it. Anyway,
it kind of, for lack of a better word, it kind of cookie cutters them.
Yeah.
Cause then, it's very prevalent that everybody on that, or a lot of people on that platform are gun bar rappers.
Yeah, and I'm not shitting on that at all.
No,
it's not my favorite thing to watch. So to me, URL ain't the only stage that matters.
Right.
And so, but
there's hella talented artists over there, but
oh yeah,
there's hella talented artists on a lot of platforms.
Right. And so A-Ward, like Mickey, is one of those guys that just does it because he loves it. What does he need out of battle rap? Does he need to be famous? No. Does he care? I don't think so. I don't think that he gives a shit about any of it, except for he wants his respect. Like, that's what MCs do. They battle for respect.
And that's where that came from.
And that's exactly
the MCs used to battle on the block to establish their skill level.
Yeah.
And back in the day, if you wanted to be a rapper, that's what you had to do. You had to put it down.
Yeah. It's I want somebody in front of me. I want to beat you because I want to be the best.
Right.
And I'm going to beat everybody until I beat everybody.
I'll take your title.
And if I lose, I'm going to come back and try and win again.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's dope. And it's not a coincidence that Mickey and A-Ward roll in the same circles. They're not in a crew together by any means. Maybe they are. There's a couple crews, like Yellow Tape Gang or something. I don't know. But anyway.
They're definitely friends.
They're definitely friends. And I actually didn't know this at the time that I suggested Mickey to be on the track and A-Ward to be on the track. I just thought they'd be dope on a track together.
Right.
And
apparently they had conversated behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And they were like, yo, got this cat EmceeTV. They hit me up. They want me on the track. Oh, yeah, they hit me up. They talking to me on the track. Yeah, I heard you was on the track. So, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. And it was pretty cool when I talked to A-Ward because he filled me in on all that. And he was like, yeah, me and Mickey been chopping it up, whatever. So,
yeah.
That was a cool connection that they had behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that record, The Cypher, was really dope. Like, the whole story behind it, like, and maybe it's not as cool for other people to just hear about it, but for me to experience it, for you to experience it, and experience it with you, my brother, like, man, that was a blast. That track was dope as fuck, and I can't wait for Back to Bars Volume 2. We get to go on another little journey and fit a couple more pieces of work into the schedule. And
I just love being able to get back to this hip hop that gave so much to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To actually be something that gives back to the community and to create something that goes back to the hip hop culture.
Yeah.
And then
hip hop meant a lot to me as a kid.
Oh, everything to me.
And I don't maybe look like it or act like it, like it's funny, like you guys know I make rap music, or I used to make rap music. Like now I teach at a college. Like I'm like a fucking total nerd, which is fine. But like when I was growing up, it wasn't like that. Like I don't want to come out here and say we were like, I was gonna say we were Section 8, but we had this conversation already. There was Section 8 house.
There was a Section 8 house.
So yeah, there was. But yeah, anyway, we weren't like I didn't starve growing up necessarily.
No, we had nice things.
We had nice things, but
there was 5 of us splitting them nice things.
Yeah, and there was a lot of fucking ramen noodles, a lot of watered down mac and cheese, a lot of cereal with water if we didn't have milk. I mean, like, I'm not trying. And growing up, when you don't have all the things that maybe some of your friends have or the people you go to school with have, you have hip hop, and they can't take that away, right?
Well, it's also something that you can just bond with people over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all that stuff. You didn't have to have the coolest shit or whatever because people just accepted you because you were like, oh man, did you hear Eazy-E or did you hear?
Yeah.
Hey, did you hear that new Too Short joint
Absolutely.
or whatever? And you just connected with people on that level, and they looked past what you had or didn't have.
Right. And that's where, like, you know, as a kid, especially, like, for me, when, like, now we're both in our 30s, however many years apart we are, is not a huge difference.
Right. And I give a fuck whether somebody likes me for what I got or don't got.
Right. When you're 10 and the other one's 15, are you 5 years older than me?
Something like that.
Yeah. When you're 10 and the other one's 15, you guys won't have the same interests.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 15-year-old brother's not hanging out with the 10-year-old brother, right? Like, not very much. So, but the younger brother still always wants to impress the older brother.
Right.
And so, for me, it was something that we had in common that we could kind of, in a way, communicate with.
Sure.
Like, and I think to this day has really brought us close.
For sure.
So I will always appreciate hip-hop for that. And I think I personally at least think, and, you know, there may be other people out there, obviously, that are as in love with hip-hop as I am, and maybe more. But I try to, like, I appreciate every element of it.
Yeah.
Like, the battle rapping. It's not like I don't casually watch that shit. Like, I watch that shit every day. I buy pay-per-views.
Yeah.
I fucking have apps on my phone and shit.
You be hitting me up. Hey, did you see Caffeine is on Twitch?
Yeah. Caffeine is URLs on Caffeine.
That's what I meant.
KOTD's on Twitch, and
Yeah.
I watch both. Like, they do KOTD on Sundays, URL on Saturday, and I'm watching both and shit. Like,
Yeah.
I spend my days off doing that shit. And, you know, and I've made music and I've made beats and you know, chopped it up with these other rappers and we've performed shows, and to me it doesn't matter if I'm good at it or not good at it. I just love doing it. And I know that, you know, many of the artists on Back to Bars Volume 1 and Volume 2, if not all of them, share that same mentality.
100%.
It's we do it because we love to do it and we're trying to be the fucking best at it. It's not just for a check.
Right.
And although they get paid, that's not why.
They
right?
pay their bills with it, but they love it.
Right.
That's what drives them.
Yeah.
And that's what sets those MCs apart from other MCs is their skill and development with that craft and their pen game.
Yeah.
Over the years, when other people were like, "Yeah, that's adequate. I'm good," they were like, "Nah, man, I'm gonna raise that up. I'm gonna push those bars."
Yeah, what can I do better?
Yeah.
I know, at least from an artist's perspective, when I make music, I will make something that, like, Dylan or D Wood, he'll be like, "Yo, that's fucking fire, dude. That line is dope," or that verse is dope, and I'm just like, it's all right. Like, I liked it when I wrote it, but I feel like I can do better.
Yeah.
And you're always your own worst critic. Like, every time, like, I put something out, I'm like, yeah, I like it, but I don't love it, because I think I can do better. And I always have that feeling. I've never written a piece of music where I'm like, that's it. I'm fucking dope. Like, that's the one.
Turning it in.
Yeah.
It's
like,
ready.
I've always been like, I think I can do better. But sometimes you just have to buckle down and record it. You're just like, I'll fucking put it down.
Yeah.
So you do. And I know, like I said, I know that these artists on Back to the Bars Volume 1 and Volume 2, most, if not all, share that mentality. And for that is why it's such a dope record. And I keep comparing DJ Khaled. I'm like, he's DJ Khaled in this shit over here. He gets to you know, put together the artist he wants to see on a track and put that out there to share for the world. And if you make money at it, you make money at it. If you don't, you don't. Of course, it'd be nice to, because you got to spend money to make it happen.
Right.
It'd be nice to recoup the investment. But it's just one of those things, man. It's for the love.
Yeah. I mean, I've always felt like...
And that's why the podcast, too, right? It's like, how else can I give back?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was hoping with this that we could share little tidbits we learned along the way about marketing this music and different avenues that we tried to go down that didn't work, and things that we found that we could do better by doing it this way and that way. And, you know, is it best for us to advertise on Instagram, or is it better for us to advertise on Spotify? Or maybe, you know what, we pressed up some vinyls. That was a big investment. Did that work? I don't know. You know what I mean? Did we press CDs? Was that worth it? Nah, because everybody switched to digital music. You know what I mean? Right. And so, like, what are the best avenues for us to go down, and where were the bad avenues as well? You know what I mean? Like, oh, that was a complete fuck up. Right. We tried that twice and it didn't work, so I'm definitely not going to do that again. Yeah.
And there's even other aspects of what you call the business that we even talked about the other day, like beanies. Do you order 100 of them and have them on hand? But you get them cheaper that way, but then you got to sit on inventory? Or do you order them one at a time, but you pay 10 times as much? Or do you try to buy the machine and do it yourself? Like, there's so many things that go, and this is just for merch. Right. Just like people that, I like the podcast, can I get a t-shirt or can I get a beanie? Right. You want to have that shit available, and you don't want to spend too much money. But if you're gonna make a sale, you want to make as much money as you can.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of things to look at on that. But in the same instance, you buy a bunch of beanies and then summer rolls around and you're like, shit.
Now I've got 85 beanies
that I got to sit on until next year and hope that this style's still in and we're still pushing this logo this same way, and that we haven't evolved and gone on to something different and whatever, or found a new supplier and maybe we got something better, and we got to look back at that box of beanies in the corner going, well, there was fucking 3 nights of bartending and 2 nights of driving Lyft. Yeah,
exactly. And that's the thing, man. And so I've of course, always supported you in everything as far as, the podcast and the album. I try and help where I can, do what I can. If you need an extra verse, I don't charge you money for that or nothing like that. Or maybe I do. Don't you get any ideas? No, I'm just playing. But and it's for that reason, because I know it's for a good cause. I know that you're doing it for the love of something that I love, and not only that, it's dope. I really do rock with the podcast. And I don't just rock with it because you're my brother.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying it is dope.
Thank you.
The records are dope, and I may not be the best guest to have on here. I'm kind of biased, but I'm glad that you're able to get through and get this podcast out and spend some of your extra time giving these little tidbits to people.
We couldn't do it. The podcast couldn't have kicked off without a lot of help. Kofi back there running shit. Right. He's working for slices of pizza. He's been punching the clock back there hard for EmceeTV, and RJ let me use the Lightroom. Right.
He's your usual co-host on here. Yep. Yeah, which I think you guys' dynamic is dope as fuck.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Drama coming through with the beats. Yep. You coming through with the verses and traveling with me. Yep. D Wood coming through with traveling, helping with the cover for the Get Down. You know what I mean? I've always been able to bounce graphics off of you guys and check that out, and so it ain't all about me. I mean, I might have
orchestrating.
Yeah, I may be kind of piloted.
That's why I keep saying DJ Khaled in it. He's putting all the pieces together.
I might have kind of piloted some of this and you know what I mean, like kicked it off a little bit, but it's a whole team, you know what I mean, and everybody has really come through, and without the support, I couldn't have been where I'm at, because a lot of these people help prop me up, and we do this as a team. So that's mad respect for everything that you've done, all the bars and the time you've invested, and traveling out here to do shows and perform and kick it, and film videos, and go to New York and Detroit and back to New York and Chicago.
And it's because of this I got to do these things.
That's what it's taken me too.
Yeah, I got to go to New York. I get to go to Detroit. I get to come down here. I met Kofi and RJ through you. Right. Got to open up for numerous artists, JL, Chris Calico, who because yeah, exactly, because of this of hip hop, and something that we can all share love for. And I want to see this project go far. And man, I'm just really happy that you guys are putting this together and putting the work in.
I appreciate that. I'm happy to hear you're gonna do another verse for Back to Bars Volume 2. So
I try to stay out of bars now.
We both quit drinking, but that's all right. You just keep laying them bars down. It's cool, bro. Don't worry about it.
I do still write music all the time, but I don't. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but I don't like how I sound when I record it anymore.
Me either, but that's all right.
It's a different. Like I don't know when I'm not recording all the time. It's a different passion that comes out. It's not the same, and my ear doesn't like it. And when I really don't like it, it's different than just like no, I like it, but I can do better. Right. It's kind of like I don't like it. Like I like the lyrics, but I don't like how the song turned out. So it's hard for me to then say, okay, let's put that out into the world.
RJ said something about doing chopped and screwed. You know what I mean? We just change a verse.
Yeah, change the whole sound. It's a possibility. I can tell you right now that Kofi's a better fact checker than I am. Because there's things I probably wanted to fact check, and I'm like, then I got to get on the computer and type shit in. I don't want to do that.
Nah, man, it's been a cool journey. I hope to continue it. It's been fun, and you know, I definitely hope to just keep it moving and keep growing. I think that I learned a shitload in 2021. Mm-hmm. Fuck, it's 2022. Yeah, shit. It is now 2022. You
better get used to scratching that out on the paper.
I know, right?
I'm
going to write in pencil from now on. Like, fuck, erase. But nah, I think I learned so much in 2021, and in prior years, but definitely in this last year, I think that
some tricks on Spotify.
Right, the knowledge has grown. The knowledge I have as far as how the inner workings and the behind the scenes shit has grown exponentially. Yeah. We've had some candid conversations about how to properly release music and the way people receive it. And how different that is. And I even had a kid in my Uber last night when I was driving, and he was in a band, and we were talking, and I said I had learned so much about the proper way to release music, and it sounds like there is a motherfucking, like a water gate broke, and it's flooding out there or something. I don't know what's going on.
Somebody's rolling a cart down the hallway or something.
Yeah, like 12 of them. It sounds like a herd of elephants.
Yeah.
But that's all right. You know, shit happens. Sometimes, you know, things happen that are outside of your control when you're recording, and you can't always control them things. So it is what it is. But yeah, I had a dude last night that he said he was signed to a record label. He's here out of Iowa, and they went and they were in a band. They went and performed in Japan, and you know, the record label had taken them to all these places, and they'd done all these things. But once we started talking about releasing music and that whole process, he was like, yeah, man, it's a tricky world once you get into it, because you have to get this music ready, and then you send it off, and it sits at a distributor, and you got to be super tight-lipped about it, and it's got to wait, and you can't be so eager that once the song is final that you want to just shoot it off and release it that day.
Right.
You gotta send it off and then just patient
and promo it.
Yeah.
And do all
you gotta be patient. Yeah. And you gotta have those build-ups and the releases properly, and
unless you're Eminem and you just drop shit random and go fucking platinum.
Right.
Or other artists do that too, but
yeah. When that's kind of a new thing, right? It's just like speaking of that, Nas just dropped another Sneak album.
Another one?
Well, I mean,
the one he dropped the other day.
Yeah. And so
I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but I've heard it's dope.
Yeah. So he did King's Disease, then he did King's Disease 2.
Right.
And then right before the end of 2021, he dropped another record.
Wait, just in the last couple days?
Yeah. Fact check me real quick time, Mr. Computer.
All right, shit. I'm bad at fact checking.
Nas' new album.
Just type Nas albums. King's Disease 2.
Magic.
Doesn't even have an album cover yet.
It's already out. I don't know.
100% of Google users like this album.
There we go. Nas has got 100%.
15th studio album by American rapper Nas. It was released December 24th. I missed that one.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard King's Disease 2. I mean, I heard of its release. I haven't heard the album yet. And he's already another album ahead. Who does 2 albums in a year, Nas? You're a machine, man.
He's, one of the baddest with the pen in the game.
Well, signed when he was like 14 years old or something.
Yeah, Queensbridge native, baby.
That's right.
But yeah, so Nas just came out with the new album that he just kind of sneak released, or however you want to say it.
He's got one feature on there. A$AP Rocky, and DJ Premier.
There we go.
One song with a feature.
Yeah.
How do you have that much time? Nas is dope.
How many tracks on it?
9.
Yeah. That's a beast right there.
9 tracks on that. And how do I? Oh, this ain't.
And doesn't he own several startup companies too? He owned, I believe Nas owned Ring Doorbell before. And he didn't own it. He was
like invested in it.
One of the people that owned part of the startup of Ring Doorbell.
I'm gonna look
before it was bought by Amazon.
All right, I'm gonna look it up. Are they closing up the fetish party over there or what?
I mean, you know, you can't be kinky all the time. Sometimes you gotta quit a little bit.
Right. Is that not supposed to put that on camera?
Hey, shit happens. It's in the Twitter sphere now.
They doing a fetish party next door. Legit. Never mind. What does it say? Business ventures. Let's see. On April 10th, Nas invested an undisclosed 6-figure sum into Mass Appeal magazine. I knew that. Technology startup company, job search app maker called Proven. Nas has a partnership with Hennessy. Oh, yeah.
Ring Doorbell.
In June 2018, Nas was paid $40 million after Amazon acquired the doorbell company Ring Inc., as well as PillPack, the latter of which he invested in via his investment firm. So what's PillPack? Because that's what he...
That was the mail order prescriptions.
Online pharmacy.
Yep.
So why does it say... Did they acquire Ring and PillPack together? Was that
Amazon now does pharmacy.
I know, but was that one company?
Oh, I couldn't speculate on the details.
Because it says... Why does it say after Amazon acquired Ring as well as PillPack, the latter of which he invested in? Why would it even say Ring at all? Why wouldn't it just say PillPack? Unless he did own part of Ring too, I guess.
Oh, yeah, the way it was presented to me was that he owned part of the startup that owned both.
Okay, that makes sense.
And he has, like, he's so diversified, he owns multiple startups.
Says he's continued to invest heavily in technology startups, including Dropbox, Lyft, and Robinhood.
Yeah.
So Nas your boss.
Another dude.
Nas is your boss.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't pick up on that originally.
Yeah.
All right, yep.
He's a boss, but he's also your boss.
That's a fact. Another dude that's heavily diversified is Chameleonaire.
Oh, yeah. Chameleonaire's got his hands in everything.
Yeah,
he's like Soulja Boy.
he hasn't really been on the hip hop scene lately. You know what I mean?
No,
Like
he make money though.
Oh yeah, Chameleonaire has got his.
I'm gonna look Cam up.
Okay.
I'm curious what he's investing.
Texas rapper Chameleonaire, who, you know, has been known for all sorts of huge hits over the years. Was signed to Swisher House Music with Slim Thug, Paul Wall, Mike Jones, in the mid 2000s. Early 2000s, however you want to phrase it.
He's invested in Lyft as well. Swear.
I'm out here driving for
Chameleonaire and Nas.
And Nas, you know.
It says...
like, I got a meeting with the boss today. Who you talking about? Yeah, I'm going to go sit down with Cam.
He states, talking about Lyft, he says, me and a few others like Big Boy from Outkast and Trey Songz were excited about the ride-sharing space, and that this was around 2014 we started making steps to get in touch with Lyft and did our investment in 2015. In 2019 interview with CNBC, he told how he sees great potential with Lyft, and even though the company went public in 2018, he is bullish on the company and will be invested for a long time.
Nice. Shout out to Cam for that one. Appreciate it. Made me some good money. My driving Lyft helps pay the bills for this.
He is one of the earliest co-investors in Maker Studios, which is now a subsidiary of the Walt Disney Company.
Okay.
Network also partnered with Fusion TV in a deal that falls under the corporate umbrella of Walt Disney. What's Convos? Social media app which allows an influencer to directly connect with their fans. Is that like...
Cameo?
Cameo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh. That's pretty dope. Well, yeah, I mean, it just shows that as a hip-hop artist, you should be diversified. As an investor in general,
as a person,
you want to be diversified.
Absolutely.
Maybe have your
especially if you have money.
Right.
Right. Like, and like if you, I think J. Cole, plenty of rappers have talked about it, but J. Cole talked about it in his song where everybody thought he was dissing, like a lot of mumble rappers or whatever. But he talked about something about have enough to buy your mama house, something. But you don't keep rapping like you rapping, and you, I don't know. I'm gonna screw it up, so I ain't gonna say it. But anyway, same deal. Where he's talking about that same deal. Like, you might be making money now.
Right.
You could spend all that money, and then you're gonna find out that you're not popping anymore, and you're broke.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
MC Hammer.
It happens to a lot of people. I mean, there's people that win the lottery, win millions, and then they're like, "How did you go broke? He was a millionaire."
Right.
Oh, he didn't know about property tax, and he didn't know about
He made $1 million and he spent $700,000 on a house, and then his taxes, monthly payments. He owns the house, but his monthly payment just in taxes alone is, $4,000 a month, and he can only live in there for a couple years because he got $300,000 left.
Right, and no future endeavors as far as how you're going to pay those bills.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing to be able to buy that house, but you gotta set some of them proceeds aside and let that money work and grow. Maybe throw some money into cryptocurrency.
That's a possibility.
Throw some money into whatever,
Yeah.
However you want to grow it, but you can't just put all your eggs in one basket and go, cool, it's going to be like this forever. I'm good.
Yeah, bought the house, now I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it don't work that way. You got to be able to buy food and pay for the gas and pay for the taxes and all that other stuff for sure, man.
And don't count on that one hit single to pay for itself forever.
Exactly. And it is important. And I am more than happy when I see artists continue to make money off of music. Not only new music, but successful music. This music that's been successful in the past, and they continue to get royalties on it. And depending on the deal that you may have, you may not have made a smart business move in the beginning when you first got signed, and you don't own the royalties to that song. You got paid up front for that album. Record company owns it, or maybe you don't. But either way, it's important. Yeah, if you're making money at all, whether it's making music or whether it's if you work for some big company, you're the CFO and you make a bunch of money a year, you need to take some of that money and put it into something else too. And actually, Mickey Factz is really one of those artists that pushes that financial literacy. He's got a whole song where he actually rhymes through the whole deal with.
We performed it live on Funk Flex.
He did.
Yep.
He did. Yeah. And so, yeah, man, Mickey's always pushing the boundaries and stuff like that. I mean, I've said a lot of good things about Mickey today, and A-Ward, and plenty of other guys like DNA and plenty of other people that I didn't mention. But yeah, Mickey's hella cool for that. Like pushing that financial literacy and things like that it's something that they don't teach in schools, and they should.
Yeah, I mean, it was a rough home economics class that you got when you was a kid, and maybe that was
if you even got that.
And that was maybe sewing and cooking. You know what I mean? Like nobody was talking about how to invest or balance a checkbook. And
I think that's the one thing that they did teach me was how to write a check and balance a checkbook.
Yeah.
But I don't use checks no more.
Well,
but they didn't teach me about taxes and investments and and maybe I was too young to even digest that if they had.
Right.
But that should at least be an elective in college.
Yeah.
But no, it should be taught in high school. Even things like how banks work and how interest works, compound interest. Like, you should know that stuff.
I mean, these are young people that are getting ready. You graduate, you're 18. You're eligible to sign up for a loan and make financial decisions that are going to affect the rest of your life, like student loans or a car loan.
I know a lot of people that got student loans and they went and fucked off and bought a car or a computer or some shit, and then now they owe money for that.
Yeah. That shit can go backwards on you quick.
We went from a hip-hop podcast to a financial podcast.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that to Mickey. But, yeah, it is one of those things, though. That's interesting to know that Chamillionaire is invested in Lyft, and so is Nas. That's funny.
Yeah.
Chamillionaire attributes this thought process to Kanye.
Really?
He said in a letter penned by Mark Suster explaining the weeks he's had at Upfront Ventures in Los Angeles, he explains the presence of Chamillionaire around the office. He said, "The same Chamillionaire who was showing us how to get our respective shines on not a decade ago, but Chamillionaire says if Kanye has taught us anything, it's that we can find success in multiple creative outlets. In the past 5 years or so, Cam has been quietly but actively involved in the tech startup scene, from speaking on social media engagement in the music industry to hanging out with Y Combinator Associates.
Nice.
That's sick.
Yeah. I am not a huge Kanye fan, but as far as a
his first two albums were fire.
Yeah. Through the Wire, and I mean he had some bangers.
College Dropout and Late Registration, I loved.
He had some bangers.
The rest had a couple good songs on them, and I'm not gonna say that it was whack, but it just wasn't my music.
Not my flavor.
And Kanye has changed his musical style on every album, which is cool.
Oh, he's versatile as could be.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I do like about J. Cole. Every album is a different musical style, but I've rocked with all of them, because I think he's had a more natural progression in his style changes. Kanye, to me, he went from like this type of rapping, and then in the next one he changed his style, but only slightly, and then the next album was completely fucking different, and that's cool. Like he's, a lot of people regard him as a musical genius, and I'm not saying that he's not, because I think that, like I said, the first two albums were phenomenal.
Well, perspective's in the eye of the beholder, anyways.
Yeah, but the last couple albums from Kanye were not my flavor.
Amen.
But
there's so many different avenues of hip hop out there that if you don't like vanilla ice cream or you don't like strawberry ice cream, you can always get a scoop of pecan ice cream or some chocolate or some caramel or some or you know what, just do you a whatever and mix it all together.
Yeah,
so so there's lots of different flavor out there for you to choose from. So hip hop is for everybody. Get you a scoop of it today at your local spot.
I like that.
And don't sleep on EmceeTV, because we're gonna be back next week with another episode. I'm gonna let my man get out of here.
Boom,
because he got a long ass drive back to Wyoming, and not only that, he's training for the motherfucking U.S. Army, and 4 a.m. comes early. So
Sure does.
it's your boy, that motherfucker Steve, my little brother Kapp, and my man Kofi in the back with a slice of Little Caesars. And it's getting cold as fuck in here because it's the middle of winter. We had to turn the heat off to be able to record this shit. So we out. Peace.
Get them, they ain't evolved. No Darwinism, I'm armed and tripping. I beg your pardon, too smart to listen. Planted roots in hip hop, and I'm dope. I'm garden digging and shit. If a motherfucker got beef, I'm far from chicken. You garbage with it. Hop in the whip and spark ignition. Leave the beat like the battery dead with the starter clicking. Fuck it up so bad it's affecting your heart condition. I'm flyer than Iron Man in this suit at the Start convention. Bitch.
Yeah, we gon' mob out. It's either get down or they gon' lie down. Middle fingers in the sky now. Where my people at? Living by the 5 pound. Fuck you think we brought the speakers for? We here for one reason, that's to keep it raw. You don't wanna meet the Reaper, boy. Seek destroy some dope, we got 'em breathing boards.
Bringing the noise, this shit noise you get a lot.